Hello everyone, welcome to today's class, and our title today is Bank Bonanza. Let's move on to the language focus. 1번. Most people would agree that this is a pretty good deal. Okay, so we are looking at most people would agree. So now we use this to express that something is obvious or seems obvious. So I guess we just need to break this down. Let's break it down. Most people, 대부분 사람들, right? Agree, 동의하다. You can also just do the opposite. Disagree, 동의하지 않다. Most people would disagree that. You can use both. So, most people would agree that BTS is an extremely talented group. 대부분의 사람들은 방탄소년단이 매우 재능 있는 그룹이라는 것에 동의할 것이다. That's why they're the biggest group in the world, I guess. Most people would agree that it's harder to wake up early in the winter. 대부분의 사람들은 겨울에 일찍 일어나는 것이 더 어렵다는 것에 동의할 것입니다. I would say so. Alright, now let's look at 2번. Fortunately for the bank, it appears that the crowd numbered in the dozens rather than the hundreds or thousands. Okay, number in the. We use this with numerical ranges such as dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions to give an approximate idea of the quantity. Okay, just so I'm sure you understand what hundreds, thousands, millions is, but just in case you don't know what dozen is, it equals 12. All right, so when we say dozens, we mean what, 12 times 2 plus more or something like that, okay? Same with like hundreds. It's not 100, it's more than 100. So thousands, more than 1,000, millions, more than 1,000,000. So basically we're talking about an approximate, that's the key part here. An approximate idea of the quantity. So example, the islands along Korea's coast number in the hundreds. 한국의 해안을 따라 있는 섬들은 수백 개에 달한다. So it's, close to, basically we're saying Korea has hundreds of islands on the coast, is basically what we are saying here. All right, sorry. High-rise buildings in Seoul number in thousands. 서울의 고층 건물 수천 개에 달합니다. So what are we saying? Seoul has thousands of buildings, is basically what we're saying. Alright, now let's look at the language focus quiz. 1번. Most people would agree that it's important to, let's say, most people would agree, do you remember what most people means? Most people agree that BTS is an extremely talented group. So we said what 대부분의 사람들은 방탄소년단 이 매우 재능 있는 그룹이라는 것에 동의할 것이다. So most people would agree that it's important to brush your teeth three times a day, as an example. So 대부분의 사람들은 하루에 3번 이를 닦는 것이 중요하다는 것에 동의할 것입니다. Okay, 2번. Most people would agree that is the best. I don't know. Brazil is the best soccer team. So 대부분의 사람들은 브라질이 최고의 축구팀이라는 것에 동의할 것이다. Okay, 3번. Number in the millions. Remember, we're giving it approximate amount. So the islands along Korea's coast, number in the hundreds. So 한국의 해안을 따로 있는 섬들은 수백 개에 달합니다. So going back down, let's say his yearly income, number in the millions. 그의 연간 수입은 수백만 달러에 달합니다. In my neighborhood, number in the In my neighborhood, new families, number in the, I don't know, hundreds. Alright. 우리 동네에 새로운 온 가족들이 수백 명씩 있어요. So remember, I'm saying that there are hundreds of new families in my neighborhood. Okay, now let's look at the further discussion. 1번. Do you think that police in London will make an effort to find customers who do not return the excess money back to the bank? Why or why not? 런던의 경찰은 은행에 여분의 돈을 들어주지 않은 고객들을 찾기 위해 노력할 것이라고 생각한가? Depending on how much money they took, if it's worth their time, I'm sure there are a lot of people who tried to take a lot of money out. And therefore, yes, they would try and track them down because, they broke the law. But if it's like, let's say they took $10 out and they got 20, I don't know if the police are going to be, tracking somebody down for $10 more. So it just depends on how much money they took. 2번. Do you agree with the 1968 Theft Act? Specifically, is receiving and keeping money you know is not yours really the same as stealing it? Give reasons. 1968년 도난 방지법을 동의하나요? 구체적으로 여러분의 돈이 아니라는 것을 알고 있는 돈을 받는 것과 보관하는 것이 정말로 돈을 훔치는 것과 같은 것인가요? Yeah, it is stealing. Yeah, I really can't answer that in a more detailed way because if you take money that's not yours, that's technically stealing. If you find money on the road, that's a different question. When I was a child, we found $50, and $50 back in that day was a lot of money. A lot of money. And so my friends and I, we took it. We didn't steal it. Well, we technically stole it if we're going by this act. But we found it, and then we went and had a really nice lunch. So, I don't know. If you find $100, for example, and there's no one around, I'd probably take it, to be honest with you. And I think most people would. If there's like if there's an incredible amount of money, if I found like millions of dollars, I would give it to the police. But if it was like, $100, I'd probably keep it. I've picked up like $5 on the street here in Korea. I felt terrible, but I used it anyway. Okay, so that's it for today's class, and I'll see you on the next class.
Debit.
Debit.
Faulty.
Faulty.
glitch,
glitch,
excess,
excess,
in one's favor,
in one's favor,
ethically,
ethically,